I think I saw over 70 movies. Here's my review of movies for the first half of 2026. I think we all can agree that Obsession is the biggest hit this year so far. With less than $1 million budget, it's already crossed $400 million at the time of this video. And talking about Obsession, horror had a few hits and misses this year. 28 years later, Bone Temple, that was really good. I personally liked it. Also, The Mummy wasn't bad, although I think it was a ripoff of The Exorcist. Undertone, We Buried the Dead, Holcomb, Leviticus, they all found a little bit of an audience. Deepwater and Primate, they're probably going to be on Tubi on repeat. I had conflicting faith issues with Psycho Killer. And I highly recommend Faces of Death. For drama, the movie The Drama definitely is worth a watch. In The Death of Robin Hood, Hugh Jackman put in some nasty work. A movie called Tuner was also one of my favorites. Interesting kind of thriller / a little bit romance in there. In The Testament of Ann Lee, I think Amanda Seyfried, she should have at least been nominated for an Oscar for that role. And as far as sort of a drama thriller, Protector with Mila Jovovich, probably the worst film of the year so far. Project Hail Mary was probably the best sci-fi. Also, we had I Love Boosters, and we had Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Mandalorian could have probably streamed, but it was fun to watch in the theater. And I did a review on Disclosure. It just let me down at the end. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, it just wasn't deep enough. Oh, and I will include Supergirls for a sci-fi movie. For animation family films, we had Mario Brothers Galaxy, Hoppers, GOAT, Toy Story 5. We also had The Sheep Detective, another Hugh Jackman movie this year. And also a very underrated family film, I thought, K-Pops with Anderson .Paak. I thought that was really good. We also had some weird movies, sort of sci-fi mind benders, including Backrooms, Exit 8, Mother Mary. Comedy was kind of mid-level except for Scary Movie, but there were 3 dark comedies that are worth watching. Over Your Dead Body, Send Help, How to Make a Killing. As far as action, I don't think anything topped The Furious. There were a few films that did drop into the action category that weren't bad. Mortal Kombat 2, a movie called Normal, and another movie called In the Gray, and 2 female-led action horror films, They Will Kill You and Ready or Not, Here We Come. Or maybe it's Ready or Not, Here I Come. I forget. And one action film I don't think anybody saw coming was RZA's A Spoon of Chocolate. And talking about Spoon of Chocolate, I'll end this with the black films that came out this year so far. Of course, we have Michael, one of the top grossing films. I mentioned Scary Movie, I Love Boosters, Zazie Beetz leading They Will Kill You. But there was also Is God Is, You, Me, and Tuscany, movie called Newborn. Passenger was a movie that was led by people of color, but that was a letdown. Out in January was a movie called The Dutchman, and Psycho Killer also had a black lead. That's about it for movies that I want to highlight for the first half of 2026. I did see a lot more. At the point where June ended, I think I saw over 70 movies. Anyway, let me know what some of your favorites were in the comments, especially if I missed some that you like. And thank you all for the likes and follows. I really appreciate it. Talk to you later.